Yo, guys, it's Old Man G here back again with another post-match reaction. I haven't gone live for a while for these. Manchester United 3, Newcastle 1, in what was it was quite a bad performance, to be perfectly honest. I'm not going to be too long. I'm going to try not to do these for so long. But remember, if you're new to the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, We United X, and smash the notification button for latest Manchester United news. So yeah, guys. Second half FC again. I've just seen notification from Red Devil Weekly. Second half FC again. That's basically us. That is literally basically a second half FC. But to be honest, what can you say? I mean, shout out to Averager and Adam talks in the chat, as well as Naveen. I say Daniel James to the rescue. You said Dan. No, I do not say Daniel James to the rescue. I don't, because I appreciate that Daniel James had a really good. He scored the second goal, but to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what he actually did. I mean, we'll take it. We'll take it for the first half anyway. Naveen rightly says Matic and Fred too much static in mid, not much creativity. Well, exactly. But the thing is, those, what I'll say in defense to Ollie is that we actually have, I don't think a lot of Manchester United fans realize this, but we actually have a midfield crisis. We have a midfield crisis. Matic and Fred are currently our only fit midfielders. Well, obviously Bruno, but those are only fit midfielders. McTominay's out, Pogba's out, and Van der Beek are all injured. So that is the midfield going forward. We don't have any, they're not fit. We hear that maybe Cavani might be back from next Sunday, but it sounds like none of those three players are going to be fit until next Sunday. The word on the street is that Cavani might be fitter before, say, Van der Beek or Pogba, and hopefully maybe McTominay's back. So this midfield that we have is the midfield that's going to be going forward, at least into the game against Sociedad, which hopefully we should rest players. And then obviously the game against Chelsea weekend, which is a big game regarding top 4. So it's really, really important that we bear that in mind. Like, it's the only midfield that we played, but this midfielder, especially Matic and Fred, has zero creativity. If Newcastle are better players, they would have won the game tactically. Exactly. And this is another thing that's important to mention. Steve Bruce, tactically, I think, completely outclassed Ollie for most parts of the game. Unlike, I think a lot of us expected Newcastle to, park the bus and make it difficult and suffocate us. And in retrospect, maybe he should have done that. But the reality is that Newcastle actually came out and pressed us, and they pressed us quite a lot. They pressed us from the get-go. They caused our centre-backs problems. They caused De Gea problems. They were really at it. To be honest, they didn't deserve, certainly from the first half anyway, to be a goal down. We got our goal, thankfully, from a Marcus Rashford piece of brilliance. And then obviously St. Maximin scores. What we're going to talk about, first and foremost, I've seen a lot of slander for Marcus Rashford this week. I'm not sure why, because this guy just does what he does. And to be honest, if you look at this season, it's been him and Bruno Fernandes that have bailed us out a lot of games this season. So I'm not saying Marcus Rashford is the best player in the world. He's going to win Ballon d'Ors, etc. But I do think that this guy, for someone who's still only, 22, 23, gets a lot more criticism than he should, to be honest. Compared to certain other men that haven't delivered, he at least tries to deliver. And there was that individual moments of brilliance in Marcus Rashford that really helped us, going forward. So we got that goal, 1-0, great fine. But did we deserve to be ahead? Not a chance. And St. Maximin gets that equalizer from, again, banter, zonal marking, defending. How many times are we going to concede from set pieces? How many times are we going to go zonal? How many times are we going to concede from set pieces? And I don't want to go in too much on Maguire and Lindelof yet again, because it's getting old. But no one can tell me that Real Sociedad are a better team than Newcastle. Newcastle better team than Real Sociedad. No one can tell me that. No one can tell me that. You cannot tell me that Real Sociedad are a worse team than Newcastle, and yet who was in our defense? I'm just saying. Van der Beek would have been perfect for this game. He would have, but he was obviously injured, so I don't blame Ollie for that. But would he have played him? I don't know, but he was injured. Alan Mark says, shout out, Daniel James helps a lot of defensive work, though, pressing on the ball quickly. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think certainly compared to maybe a Greenwood, he is better defensively. And when Daniel James and even Lingard play, Wan-Bissaka doesn't struggle, as much. So I definitely agree with that. But going forward, I don't think he gives us that much, if I'm perfectly honest. And his decision-making, again, a few times really, really frustrated me. It really did frustrate me from time to time. There was at least 2 or 3 times in the first half where he literally just ran and just shot. He's our winger. He's the winger. He's supposed to look up and try and find people in space. And I admit it that Martial wasn't in space all the time, but he needs to do better in that respect, aside from the goal and obviously defensive work, I wouldn't necessarily say that this was Daniel James' best game, but credit to him for scoring the goals. If I'm honest, I generally still want to see what Ahmad brings to this team, because I think that he could bring more than Daniel James is bringing more, in my personal opinion. Luke Shaw also had a good game as well. Like the vid, everybody. Yes, please like the vid, like the vid. It goes a long way. James himself a lot. Cohen when he got some chance across the ball in the box, which we're not able to. That's what I'm saying. Yes, so I definitely agree. That his pace helps a lot. Defensively, he's better. I definitely agree with that. To be honest, had Steve Bruce played that low block game that he does sometimes with Newcastle, I generally think that we would have had problems, because you don't play Daniel James against a low block, in my opinion. Would you play Daniel James against Sheffield United, against West Brom? I don't think so. I don't think necessarily that he would have really given us much more in those games, because he needs space to run into. He's not a creator, this Daniel James. He's really not. And, but anyway, I don't want to criticize Daniel James, because at the end of the day, we won the game. He scored a goal. He's getting his confidence back. I just still think that there are other better options. I swear on the line, I said 3-1. You did, Red Devil Lab. You did. Mo Lester says, G, why you talk so much jokes? Yes, Martial was good. He wasn't great. I agree. You on that fraud, H&? I am on H&'s channel. People call him a fraud, but I am. Why do I talk so much? Because I love talking. I love talking about Manchester United. If we move from zone to man, we would be conceding 10 less goals a season. Absolutely. I don't really. I mean, if I had to analyze that goal we conceded, it's the main flaw of zone marking, which is that second ball. We cleared the ball, a bit of poor clearance from Harry Maguire, and everyone is still busy marking zonally, so no one is actually tracking St. Maximin. He's got a free shot and it's a goal. And like I said, whatever you say about Newcastle played very, very well today and actually deserved to get, I would argue, more from the game. But we were more clinical. And obviously in the second half, thanks to one Daniel James, we obviously got that equalised. It was a bit lucky, let's be honest, to come to him, but it doesn't matter because we got it. He got it. We scored. Boom. 2-1, and now Newcastle have to come out a bit more to go to try and get something from this game, because obviously they're in danger of being relegated this season. That's bad for them. And then third goal, obviously, poor challenge, I think, from Willock, who's the Arsenal loanee. You can see maybe why he's on loan. Poor challenge, takes Rashford down. Bruno Fernandes, who got an assist, gets the goal. And I say Bruno to the rescue because, to be honest, Bruno is our only creative player. He was our only creative player. It's as simple as that. And it's partly because of him that we are where we are. What I will show, I'm going to just quickly get the table out. My man, which was Daniel James. Okay, Shaw had a very good game. Shaw has had a very good season. I would argue. I would argue he's had a very, very good season. And Naveen says Martial is a bit frustrating these days. He is slow. Yes, he's not. I don't know. Go in on Martial. He's not really performing. He's really not. I don't know what it is. I really don't. Maybe it's Cavani. I don't know. But what I would say though is that for everyone saying sell him, get rid of him, etc. At the end of the day, he was one of our best performers last season, and we have, we have other positions that we need to fill further before we can consider looking at getting another striker. I.e., we need a proper central defensive midfielder, and we need a centre back. Those positions, and possibly a right winger, those positions take priority, in my opinion, over a centre back. Shane 10 says, that reminded me of the West Ham game away where we had bad for 60 minutes, but we're good for the last 30 minutes. Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's the final result that counts, isn't it? It's the final result that counts at the end of the day. And we have seen a lot of these performances from Manchester United. And do I think that that level of inconsistency is good enough to win a title? No, it's not. I mean, we scored more goals than Manchester City did today, for example. But the reality is that they never looked like they were really in danger. They looked like they were in control all the time, so that's the difference. There is that level of consistency. And I think United, whether we can do that on the Ollie, I don't know, but we certainly need players to do that. But we are where we are. It's as simple as that. I'm going to quickly just show the table, because I think this is quite important to see where we are. Let me just get the table up for those who. Thanks for you're watching. By the way, please leave a like. Please leave a like on the vid. It goes a long way. It really does. So this is the table for all those who can see right now. Manchester City, obviously, on top, 59 points. We are 10 points behind City, which is a joke. And I mean, the frustrating thing about this is, well, I didn't think that we were going to win. I mean, City were going to win a title. If you think about the points that we lost, if we beaten Sheffield, that's us on what? 52 points. If we don't draw against West Brom, okay, that's us on 54 points. Where else did we drop point? If we don't concede that banal goal against Everton, that's us on 56 points. So we'd only be 3 points behind City still to play them. I'm not saying that's enough. I'm just saying that, like, we're the victims of our own downfall, dropping points to relegation fodder and then not being able to defend. That is the reason fundamentally why we're not in a title race. It's not, for all the criticism that Martial gets, we are not competing because of a lack of goal scoring. It's because we've been defending and conceding goals against poor opposition and again in crucial moments. That's why we're not challenging for City right now, in my personal opinion. But the most important thing to look at from this table, though, is just the fact that United obviously joined with second with less than 9 points. But according to looking at our rivals, Chelsea obviously were 6 points clear of Chelsea, and more importantly, 9 points clear of Liverpool, the same games played. I think top 4 should be secured. It should be in the bag. And it is literally just a question of seeing out the season, hopefully trying to get another trophy, whether that be the FA Cup or the Europa League. So as far as the season goes, and I will post a recap of the season so far, you can't be completely, unhappy with where Manchester United are right now with Solskjaer. So that's penny for your thoughts. Rashford is ready. Ready for what exactly? I reckon if James didn't score, I think Ollie would have taken him. That is true. I think he would have, possibly for Ahmad, because I actually thought Ahmad was coming on for James, but obviously Mata came on the end. Honourable mention to Shola is it shoretire? I don't have to pronounce it. I'm sorry. I think Shola shoretire. Coming on for his debut. Hopefully, we get to see more of him. One of the positive things about Manchester United Football Club is that we do use youth. That's why I don't buy all the complaints that Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans say, oh, we get injuries, oh, we got this, oh, we got that. At the end of the day, we dig into our academy to get players. And if you look at that team, that finish at the end, you've got what? You've got Wan-Bissaka, obviously. Sorry, no, you've got Greenwood, Shola, Rashford, all Manchester United Academy players. It is really, really good to see that Manchester United Academy sort of flowing, and long may it continue. You can't really say he's bad because he's slow. Cavani's slow, but he's still good. Who's slow? You mean Daniel James or the defenders? Red, before I was saying don't go for Europa, just try and win league, but now the league is gone. Do we go for Europa? I think that we need to secure top 4. For me, that's the most important thing, so we need to secure top 4 for the season. It's not completely secure yet. So that for me takes a priority. Only positive is that Leicester and United are all still in Europa League. But yeah, top 4 securance is the most important thing. And then let's see what happens with the Europa League. We'll see what happens to the draw. It all really depends on where we are. But yeah, why not? Only just because I can't really think of many good teams that are left. The teams that I thought were going to be an issue, Napoli, Leverkusen, Sociedad, all look like they may be getting knocked out. So you're left with the English teams and AC Milan, maybe, although they drew. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Who's Manchester United's biggest threat in the Europa League? Picks and String says Marshall is not a striker. Ollie's just trying to fit him in the team because Rashford's better than him on the left. Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, I mean, I don't know who would. We have injuries. Cavani's obviously injured. I think if Cavani was playing, Cavani playing against Chelsea, I think that Marshall will start the bench. I think he'll probably play Rashford and Greenwood most likely. But Cavani isn't playing, so it makes sense that Marshall is going to play. To be fair, can we have our say? It's going to be a quick one, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would, but yeah, this is just going to be a quick one. In fact, I'm going to probably round off the next sort of 5 minutes. Let me know who your man of the match was, by the way, guys. I'm going to do a quick player rating, just going for the players, and let me know who was your man of the match. But above all, it wasn't the best performance by Manchester United, but we got the dub and we move on. We should be able to rest players against Sociedad midweek. I'm hoping to see, Ahmad, Shola, maybe get Twan CB back to just give him a bit of confidence. Let's see what happens with that. And then obviously we've got a big game against Chelsea. For me, if we beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, I'm not saying that we will, but certainly if we beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, I think that we've secured top 4. Because that would make us 9 points between Chelsea, Liverpool. You don't know, especially because they have to play Chelsea afterwards. So if we beat Chelsea and Liverpool and Chelsea have to play each other, so I think if we can get that dub, I'm fairly confident that top 4 is probably in the bag and we can focus on other things. That's a big game. Thoughts on Rashford's passing? It's very underrated part of it. Yeah, no, I agree. Marcus Rashford's passing has improved compared to his overall game has improved. And that's why I feel like, the thing about Marcus Rashford is that, yes, his decision making could be better, but he has become a bit more consistent. That's what I think a lot of people don't seem to give emphasis for praise for. He's become more consistent. And I think the fact that he's not dropping hat tricks every other game, people seem to just cuss the guy. But he's become more consistent, and I think he needs props, and he's improved his overall game, in my opinion. This is arguably one of Marcus Rashford. I think he's 18 goals this season. So that's 2 goals shy from his goal tally last season, his personal best. But he's having a trash season. I don't understand. We have beware of Chelsea because if we lose to them, the 3 points behind us, and if we beat them, we're clear. That is a huge gap. We have to increase the gap between. Yeah, exactly. But more importantly, Shane, Chelsea have 3 big games coming up. Chelsea, we obviously do. We have to play Chelsea and then City, and then I don't know who we have after that. I don't think it's a top 6 team though. Palace. Yeah, so it's Chelsea, then Palace, then City. That's, I think, who we have. Chelsea have us, Liverpool, Everton. So all 4 of those teams are top 4 rivals. So for me, that is a big week for big couple of games for Chelsea, because if they lose all of those games, for me, that's top 4 over for Chelsea. If we win and Liverpool get a dub over Chelsea or drop points, whatever, again. So it's big, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, man, I'm gonna put him on my poll on the channel, definitely. Milan drew though. Yes, they did. Milan are in the Europa League, but as I said, they drew. And they drew against. Weren't they playing against like a Red Star Red Star Belgrade. So I mean, I don't know. They certainly could be a threat there. I guess I'm just saying is that Manchester United can certainly be considered one of the favourites for the Europa League, and especially now that the format has gone back to 2 legs. Because we don't remember it's 2 legs. I generally think that if we'd actually had a two-legged affair last season, I think we probably would have beaten. I think we would have beaten Sevilla over 2 legs. Is what I'm saying. So the 2-leg thing I think probably is going to help us from the Europa League point of view, because I can't imagine us conceding 3-4 goals to Europa League teams compared to Champions League, in my opinion. Anyway, let's just quickly go to the next segment of player ratings, and then I'm gonna round off. Let me know who your man of the match was in the comments. I obviously think I'll tell you what my man of the match is at the end of the player ratings. Player ratings. David De Gea, I'm probably going to give I'll give David De Gea a 7. I think a lot of people think that he was at fault for the goal. I don't think he was at fault for the goal. Sven van Norway, Rashford. That's your man of the match. Yeah, I don't think De Gea was at fault for the goal. I actually think he made some very, very good saves. I'd give him a solid 7. I think maybe 7.5 to push it. I think he had a good performance. I don't get where all this hate's coming from. I think David De Gea's I think last season he was garbage at times, but this season I don't blame him at all. So David De Gea 7.5. Maguire 6. Lindelof 5.5. Okay. I still think that they were getting bullied by Joe Linton, man. Newcastle were quite physical. Obviously, St. Maximin was causing, but he's getting bullied by Joe Linton. He's getting bullied. They're getting bullied by Joe Linton. They looked uncomfortable at times, but they grew into the game, obviously, when we scored the second goal, So, and Maguire needs to start scoring his headers. I know I'm a bit harsh on them, but they need to improve. Luke Shaw had a very good game. I'll give Luke Shaw an 8.8. I think had a very solid game. Wan-Bissaka, I'll probably give a solid 7. It was good to see him going forward. Matic, I'll give like a 5. I don't think Matic had a great game, if I'm perfectly honest. Slow, lack of creativity. Fred, I'll probably give a 6. He was tenacious as he always is. He got into the fight, got into the tackle, but I just think that we were exposed quite a bit in that midfield, and it's not their fault, but they kind of need to sort of deliver a bit more when it comes to creativity. Because if McTominay and Pogba and Van der Beek are going to be out for a while, we're going to need Fred. We're going to need Fred to step up as our creative player, because that's what he would. Matic was the DM, Fred was the box-to-box player, and Bruno obviously was a cam. So Fred has to be better at his passing. He's got to be better creating things, if that is going to be our midfield going forward. Bruno Fernandes, obviously, for me, I don't think he himself had the best of games, but what I would say is, he comes clutch again, and so I give him an 8 as well. What are the comments? Rashford or James says Mo for his man of the match. I want to see what Maguire does in training. I want to see what Maguire does in training too, whether it's like leave the ball and inshallah. I don't know. Did you see the Milan derby? I saw it brief. Shout! I know a lot of people are now gassing Lukaku now. Lukaku's back. Lukaku's awesome. Lukaku. However, I feel for Milan, because at the end of the day, Milan played Europa League on Thursday. Inter had much more rest. They don't have the same depth of squad as Inter do, So shout out to Inter, Lukaku and Conte, but let's not go overboard and say Lukaku's now one of the best number 9s in the world or something like that. So I think people need to chill on that, because he didn't turn up in the Champions League, which is the best competition. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep Cavani and the players we have at United. Thank you very much. Indeed. So 8 for Bruno. Who am I missing? Daniel James. I'm going to give Daniel James. I'm going to give Daniel James a 7.5. I know he did score that goal to the second game, and yes, his defensive work was good. But I don't know what it is about him, but he does. I do get frustrated. Certainly, as our winger, as our main winger, I just want to see more from him. Okay, more deliveries into the box, more intelligence. As in terms of where he places the ball. But his defensive work was good. He certainly had a better performance today. And long may it continue. Rich Sports, and shout out to Rich Sports, guys. Head over to his channel, please, and subscribe. He's on 500 subscribers. Congratulations to Rich. Keep up the good work. Shaw, James, and Rashford played very well, and to that I agree. Who else am I missing? Martial, for me, probably gets a 5. I don't think he had a particularly great game either. His confidence is really shot right now, to be honest. But I still back the dude because he's going for a rough patch, like Aubameyang, to be honest. Both him and Aubameyang seem to not be doing particularly well. We just need to back him. But I don't think it's a priority right now in terms of replacing him. We have other areas. So, but yeah, 5. Rashford, Marcus Rashford for me. I'm gonna give I'm gonna give Rashford 8.5. He's my man of the match. Rashford had a very good I think certainly in the second half more so, even though he scored the goal in the first half, but he really helped us and carried us in this game, Marcus Rashford. And in a week where somehow he was getting a lot of criticism, I think Marcus Rashford is showing his level of consistency compared to, say, last season when he just was quite inconsistent. His decision-making does still need to improve, but it is a lot better than last season. So Marcus Rashford, 8.5. And for me, Marcus Rashford is my man of the match as well. I'm so gutted Martial we get exactly. There is a player in there, and the reality is that when Martial and Rashford and Greenwood on that front start to ball, our attack will be fire yet again. So yeah, guys, that's my brief post-match reaction. Let me know what you think. Another good win for Manchester United. What's the expectation for the season currently? I say that we secure top 4, ideally get second place, and try and get a trophy. Top 4 trophy, that's improvement. We're already points-wise better than where we were last season. Let's go and have something to show for it. Let's have some silverware. And let's go. Let's keep on going. Let's keep the positivity going. Remember, guys, you need to try to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter and X, and smash that notification button for latest Manchester United news. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers.